Well, this is why the California Senate race is so particularly interesting. And that is, it's a similar game to what we play when we look at Australian elections, working our way up the tree, trying to find what will be that last seat over the line that gives a majority to one side or the other. And if you do that sort of electoral arithmetic with respect to the US Senate, most people looking at this, you end up with California perhaps providing that last win, that 50th or 51st Senate seat, depending on how you count it, that would put the Republicans into a majority control in the Senate. Now, it's a big ask. Fiorina, for a Republican to win a Senate seat in California would be a very big deal. And all the polling seems to indicate it's going to be a bridge too far. Republican gains will be impressive across the country, but very difficult to wrestle control, win a Senate seat from under a sitting Democrat incumbent. It's really brought out a lot of funding on the no side. That is to preserve the law mandating that California takes a strong stand on carbon emissions and on climate change. From people like Gordon Moore, the billionaire founder of Intel, from Bill Gates, from Microsoft, from James Cameron, the famous Hollywood director. All characters like this have weighed in, and together opponents rather of Prop 23, supporters of California's strong stance of climate change, have raised about $30 million to defend the status quo, that is California sort of, to some extent, leading the nation in trying to build green industries and take a strong stand on climate change. At the moment, it would appear that that ballot initiative will go down. That is, California's earlier law mandating some action on climate change will stay on the books. The polling seems to indicate that one will not get up. Californians like where their state is at the moment on the issue of climate change, and will try to. Looks like that that initiative will go down. Most people looking at this, myself included, think that that's pretty much a foregone conclusion, that the House will change hands, that Nancy Pelosi will not be Speaker of the 112th U.S. House of Representatives, that will switch to a Republican control. We're less sure about the Senate, but at this point, I think most people are asking how big will the Republican win be, not whether it will happen. And that's been, I think, pretty much a lock among most commentators looking at this. The consequences of going down to 50 or below, a couple of things happen. One is your party leader is no longer, you don't control the chamber anymore. The leader of the Senate, the majority leader, is now, if the Republicans pick that up, will be a Republican. Mitch McConnell from Kentucky will most likely be a majority leader. A couple of things follow. Committee chairmanships follow, which are enormously powerful in the U.S. system. So, the chairs of all the Senate committees would flip from currently being Democratic senators to Republican senators if the majority status of the chamber were to flip. Obama may have some Supreme Court picks coming, even over the next 2 years, and maybe if he's reelected over the next 6 years. Those have to pass the Senate by a majority vote, and they're enormously important. The court has become a real focal point of political conflict, ideological conflict in the American political system in recent years. And getting those Supreme Court nominations through requires a majority vote in the Senate, and that would, I think Obama would have to think about offering up more conservative nominations than he might otherwise do if he doesn't have a majority in the Senate. I can't help but think sort of a Democratic president like Obama up against a sort of a right of center, wind in their sails, energized, conservative bunch of freshman Republicans. I don't see a lot of good news there for making progress on some of the more important problems facing the United States, its budget deficit, what to do about climate change. Is there anything structural that the federal government could do to help bring the pace of economic recovery up a notch? What to do about the United States' place in the world more generally? I think there's a set of really important policy matters that I think we're going to see not much progress on if we end up with the anticipated result next week, and that is a Republican takeover, at least one, if not both chambers.